area we held like 4 5 session, and now we are breaking the trend also on a daily time frame. If you draw a trend line on a daily time frame, yeah, so the trend is breaking. What I'm watching is maybe 1820 area for a rejection, uh, or below 1775. Both of the things I'm watching. Uh, let's see how it goes. Mm, Yeah, I think those are the ticker I'm watching. And to simplify, I think the weakness is there in the tech stock. So I will watch QQQ also if we form any intraday pattern. So 716, 717 area is a pretty big. So we are just capping slightly below. Let's see how we react on around this area. So if we break below 713, definitely we could see a move down to 707 or 703 for a downside. So those are the tickers I'm watching for today.
All right, thank you, Sarang, so much. All right, let's take a look at some of the names that you guys are posting in the chat, guys. So let's go through them here. Give me 1 second. Let's take a look at Amazon daily. Yeah, that's a nice continuation play to watch. Amazon actually, we closed right to 200-day moving average. So break of yesterday's lows, could see a bigger unwind on this one, sitting in kind of in a very strong downtrend here, and potential target be 220. So about 12 points lower here if the markets are selling off. This one, Amazon, could be something to watch. Nice call out.
Amazon has a
Eli Lilly.
trend that it was posting.
Okay. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. I have a few alerts. Um, Eli Lilly, up. It's green. I don't see much here though. I like UNH a little bit more within this space. I think UNH daily looks ripe for higher. So been holding 400 nicely, and there's a nice little trend line on the daily. That if we break it, I think could see a nice little push towards those 415s plus. So UNH, I have alert right around where we are right now, actually. So we'll keep an eye on this one at the open. Go through the list here further. I want to take a look at Meta, see where it's at. I haven't even looked at it. Yeah, Meta looks a little bit like Amazon, I guess, but it's way below the 200-day moving average. We'd have to break that 556, I think, to get a bigger move. My target would be this 520. It's a big pivot on the daily from March of this year. The Meta is looking weak, 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 weak. PLTR, that's a nice continuation move. So watch yesterday's lows. It break up that 119 area. Could be a nice continuation move. If you go all the way back on the daily to the day of June 5th of 2025, so last year too, about a year or so ago, there's a nice little low there around 118.93. That is where we're kind of grasping on right now. Yesterday's lows basically held above it. So I would watch that to break for a bigger sell off. PLTR. IBM we already talked about, but we've talked about it extensively on how relatively strong it is on a double catalyst. So we would just monitor this one near the open. We have about 10 minutes to go here. If there are any other names that you guys want us to take a look at, let us know. Forever. I guess that was it. I guess let me just look through my list here. Yeah, not much is standing out to me, guys. I do like the market. I think the market is in play. Just to reiterate today, SBX, okay? So SPX overnight low is right around that 50-day moving average that was tested just a couple weeks ago, June 11. That time we spent a few days there and then we held it and we bounced into a lower high, I guess, on the daily. Not new all-time highs, but very close to it. We've since retreated and now the overnight low is right around that 50-day moving average. Okay. So we could put in a higher low here, or yeah, we break the overnight low. We can see this bigger move towards those lows from June 11th. And those lows are around that 72.20 area. There are a few levels to look at today. 7,400 would be a nice little. Um, if we move into 7,400 shortly after the open, which happens uh, quite often when you have inventory leaning towards one way, um, you sometimes get that balance rebalancing at the open. You often get that little bit of a push higher. So if that push higher gets to 7,400, watch that for short. It's also where last week's low is, which we said was 74.02. 7400, 7402. Anything above 7402 or last week's lows, just add an alert there. That could be a nice little failed breakdown. And I don't care what else is going on. If that happens, I'll likely try to go along there if things line up for me. So, um, but if not, that could be an excellent area to go short towards those PM lows again. Uh, VIX is high. VIX is up quite nicely here, about 17%. We're back above 20. I would love to see this 20 handle to break. I would like for us to, sorry, I would like the VIX to break below that 20 as soon as possible and start pushing lower for us to see a little bit of a relief, I guess. It's a good day to, I think, have an open mind, actually. Just monitor situation, see where strength is, where weakness is, and don't fight the trend. If we're trending lower, just have to look for short plays. That is all I got. We have about 7 minutes to go here. So SpaceX, we're looking for a short below 154. If you see a bit of a front side, if you see move higher to that 154 area, could look at a short there. Um, Also, the all-time low we tested overnight low. Sorry, overnight. I think overnight low on SpaceX was around 147. So I'm gonna watch that for a bit of a sweep around 147 area. See a little bit of a dip below recover. Could be a nice little scalp actually back towards that 150 or so. Okay. I think MU's hands off for me. Uh, that whole that whole play will be, I guess, a little more interesting to me, I guess, after the MU earnings on Thursday. All right, so slightly different morning call. Not a whole lot to go through, but I think we did a good job of covering what we needed to know going into today. Let's get ourselves ready for the market. Uh, Opens up 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Tesla giving back pretty much everything from yesterday, unfortunately. Really fantastic move yesterday in the morning, and then we've seen just an unwind here with the overall market. ES is near overnight lows here, back towards the lows here. That 73.50 Mateo that you mentioned, in terms of gamma and stuff, that's very close to that overnight low as well. So some nice alignment
Yep.
there for a breakdown.
Yep. And the 50 days you mentioned as well.
Watch that 7400, 7410 maybe call or scalp. Yeah, Apple big pop here into 298. Almost red to green here. Apple. Tesla pushing lower.
Just a quick reminder for those that might not have seen the announcement before the market opens, we have a webinar tonight at 7 p.m. free for everyone to join. We'll go over the accelerator program and all of that. Watch 2000 on SNDK is possible sweep.
All right, we're open. SPX 50 days actually at 73.39 here. 7500. Sorry, the SPX 500 was a little off. IBM first move lower towards that 257. As we said, could be a nice support sweep. SPX close to that 73.50. 75.50 here. SPX.
NDK back testing 2021. It breaks the lows. It's a short. If it holds, it could be a sweep. Oops.
VIX popping 20.45. Are you having issues with your SPX options chain? Matei?
No.
Okay. Tesla's trying to sweep the overnight low and just tested -1 ATR. That's your 73.50 dip below recover. I was interested in going long there for a scalp, but my options chain is not loaded, so I got to restart my broker. All right, there it is. IWM is looking pretty strong here, recovering nicely. Nice little move off that 73.50, guys. IBM, really nice 257 kind of sweep. Back above 261 here. Nvidia still very heavy though.
IBM +1 is 264.57.
Pretty light positioning out there, right, Mate? Into that 73.80 maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets a lighter above us.
Nice move. AMD off the lows here. AMD trying to recover this ATR here around 520. You can see a little bit of momentum above. ASX, nice little turn here, guys. Let's see if it holds this and pushes back towards 160.
It's a decent sweep.
QQQ catching a bit of a bid here. Keep an eye on it because that's a bit of the culprit today. Here's your 154 SpaceX.
Yeah, guys, I'm trying a short on SNDK shares here. Stop at 2022. Premiums are too expensive. I'd rather just be in shares. Nice move here.
That's a nice little long there, QBTS quantum theme here mentioned by John. Let's call that
As I'm
UBT.
taking a third off here, SNDK.
Apple, nice little hold there. Like in IBM here, guys. All right, so I just got filled at 4 there, 265 calls. If we start breaking below 257, I'll be out. Next nice turn.
SpaceX really clean rejection at 154 here.
Yep. Good call it.
Watching roll ups.
RGTI, really strong. Quantum, John called it out earlier. Apple, pretty strong here as well. BM a little weaker here. JSX back to the lows here. PM low.
Yeah, it moved a little bit too quick for me there to catch.
Okay.
But that was a nice rejection. I think this is the new lows, right? Yep.
Just about, yeah. IWM really strong here. Nice turn, IBM here.
Guys covering about another third of SNDK short shares here. Break even stop on the rest.
I want to start seeing IBM here turn and push above 263 here. VIX coming off 20 here. Amazon recovering the 200-day moving average. That's the failed breakdown we talked about. It's attempting to. If it break above 235, we could see 238. Tesla heavy, heavy, heavy. ATR right around this 388, which is also a big level on the daily. I just got filled some here at 490. IBM. Apple above 300, guys, is telling us something, okay? Apple is looking extremely strong. Quantum is squeezing too. Apple above 300. Watch that move to 302.64. Above that 302.64, there is an ATR at 304, but I think this one has room for 307. Remember, yesterday I was trying to do something similar and got sold into due to the overall market. So Apple is looking very, very strong. PX hitting that 80 target, which we talked about earlier, off of that 50. Nice little sweep back to 80. Above 80, we can see that 7,400. Test of last week's lows. All right, Tesla standing out to me here. Sorry, not Tesla. Apple. BE, so energy name, super strong over the last few days. Backtesting 300 again. So
It's covered
down
a
12.
partial on SNDK here. 6 position. 1940 was my target.
Noticing some rotation into max 7 names here, funny enough. Guys, SpaceX is an active failed breakdown here. Just worth watching, okay? I don't hate 160 calls for a move back to those highs from earlier in the morning. We do need to break above that 154.
SpaceX tested those pre-market lows. Caught a reaction is turning up pretty quickly here. S&P, this is our pretty big test here. Possible short entry if 7,400 rejects. This is your pivot.
WM, I needed to start breaking higher here. Guys, SpaceX. Watch that flip red to green.
This 154 is a big spot.
Yeah. Oh, that's 45 points off of that 50 pivot that you and I talked about. Okay. SPX, we also talked about how
Yeah.
sometimes the inventory is leaning a little too heavily on one side to another. You often see this push to the upside. Doesn't mean that
Hmm.
we're out of the weed space, SPX, but really nice recovery.
Yep. This is the first big test here, 7,400.
Yeah.
Stop break even at 2,000 on the last partial on the S&DK shares. +1 ATR here on IBM.
Thank you. AMD strong move here. All right, just got filled at 545, another bit of this IBM. So just because of the ATR, okay. Also 7,400, also the 9-day moving average at 265. So adding stop now on the rest. PX looks strong, guys. Above last week's lows, guys. Could be a bigger move to the upside around 30, 35 more points.
Pull out that SNDK shares here, break even on the last partial. It's a nice trade.
Let's trade the yes, perfect. Good job sticking with it. Nvidia back above 200. Sorry, held 200 rather on the back test. You're seeing some better price action. Some of these semiconductors. Look at AMD, IWM leading to the upside here. Let's see if we can go red to green. SPX 7400 test.
Because I put on a call credit spread there against that 7,400 test. We'll see. Again, we can pop above 7,400 and see 2030 if it clears, but for now, trying that against that spot.
Okay, SpaceX, I don't hate upside. Okay. I think it might be better just wait for the red to green move first, though. But it's looking constructive. It'd be a riskier entry around this 154, in my opinion. Oh, I just popped through it. Red to green. I was actually trying to get to my broker's a little slower today, but those 160 moved fairly quickly here on this move. Careful with SpaceX here. Could still move, but those options were really moving well here. Target on this move, SpaceX, would be that 160, 161, where we closed that first day. There was a nice inflation as we broke that 154. Those moved from 450 to like 520, and now they're kind of pinned there on those 160s. This is an excellent short area, guys, with a pretty tight stop above on SPX. I do still see some real good momentum here. So, really good move here, IBM, guys. IBM, really good move. Yeah, MBIS, nice calling it out, champ. Filling that gap and just extremely strong red to green. It was down quite significantly here. And up from like 251 to 286. What is going on there? That is a huge move, MBIS, guys. This is a day after inclusion, I guess, in the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, so this one is likely to move towards 300, I guess. With this kind of candle, I would, bet some money on it. Just I'm not chasing it, but really, really strong. Gotta give Champ some XP for that call out. SpaceX looks good. IBM trying to recover the ATR. Shorts are getting a bit spanked here if we can move above here. ES recovering last week's lows. SPX recovering last week's lows. It's a big move if they hold it, guys. $74.35 could be next above the 7,400. There is a 9-day moving average right there. The 9 on 10 is right there as well. There's also a yellow resistance level right there from my charts. SpaceX moving towards those 159s, 160, above 161. I think we could start pushing towards those 175. What I would watch for here, if you did not take that long off of 50 or the 400 break, I would watch for that back test to hold. All right, guys, just took some more off here from IBM. Just took some off more. Sorry, just fumbling with the alert here. Yeah, MBS likely 300 today, guys, if the market keeps doing what it's doing here. SpaceX could see a nice little move. Red to green already. Holding IPO day low, targeting the close around that 161, and then high day of that IPO first day 176.52 would be a good target here. Far off, but just kind of calling out some levels. Those 160s, I think, are moving nicely on SpaceX. I'm not looking at those right now. IWM likely first to go red to green if this continues. There is resistance around this 297, and then 298.20 or so is the red to green move area. 300 right above. There's a good exit on IBM. I'll hold the rest. It's looking very strong here.